Welcome back. So the complaint isn't so much about, let's say, reacting to remedial action, but the fact is, according to what the Public Protector said, the President is obliged to give a detailed response to the Public Protector's report, and not to say, I've read all sorts of other reports, etc., but actually to go to Parliament and say exactly how he agrees, disagrees, and why with the Public Protector. And that's, as the Public Protector is suggesting, the architecture of the Constitution.
Look, I want to refer just to the Executive Ethics Act, because it was made, the finding was made in terms of that. And Section 5 specifically, and it relates more to other members of the Executive, Cabinet members, Deputy Ministers. And it's nothing in this Act may prevent or delay the appointment or the termination of the appointment of any Cabinet member, Deputy Minister or MEC, or the amendment or determination or allocation of a portfolio in terms of the Constitution. So basically, that's I think, I know the Public Protector, I think, was in agreement on the Executive Ethics Act, but that clearly spells out if the Public Protector makes, for example, a finding against, let's say, the Minister of Communications, as has been done, it is then, there's no constitutional crisis if the President doesn't act on that. I mean, as we know, the President did remove the then Minister of Communications. But similarly, I mean, Parliament, it's up to the National Assembly to look at the matter. That is who the President is accountable to. And the President had also referred the Nkandla matter to the Special Investigation Unit. It's a pity that in this case there seem to be conflicts or an overlap between the two. In the past, in the time of Selby Bakwa, when he was Public Protector, he would make recommendations that a particular matter should be referred to the Special Investigation Unit. And there are provisions in the Act for matters to be referred.
So she didn't do that, but the fact of the matter is that she has asked for remedial action. She's put that up in her report. Now, sure, all the question is, if Parliament is the body which the citizenry looks to hold everybody accountable, then surely the argument must be that the President comes along and says, I agree with X, I don't agree with Y, I'm not going to do Y, I'm not going to do X. Doesn't muddle up a whole lot of other reports and sort of folds it all into one. I think that's the complaint.
But the President has responded. I mean, I'm not sure where the issue comes in about the detail that the President must respond, which seems to be the issue. I'm not sure what the authority is for that.
Well, I think, you know, the President has responded to a certain extent. For example, take the issue of pay back the money. Advocate Madonsela recommended that the amount to be paid back should be determined.
But hasn't he said that's up to the police minister?
But that's the point I'm coming to, is that Advocate Madonsela said the Minister of Police, in collaboration with the Treasury, must determine the amount. The President now says the Minister of Police must determine whether he must pay anything back, not just the quantum, but whether he must actually pay anything back at all. So that's fundamentally changing the recommendation or the remedial action that the Public Protector put forward.
But sorry, let me get this right so that ordinary people can understand this. The President is obliged to respond to the Public Protector, is that correct? The Public Protector puts up this report, says there are all sorts of irregularities, and in my view, the President actually owes the public a refund. That's crudely put, or simply put, that's what the argument is. And the President says, well, whether I owe, he could say, I don't owe a refund, correct? He could say that.
He could.
So he doesn't done that. He said, I'll decide, I'll leave that to somebody else to decide whether I should have to pay money back.
And it calls into question the whole issue of the independence of why do we create an Office of the Public Protector as an independent institution when the President now says that the Minister of Police, someone that he appoints and serves at his pleasure, must now make that determination. It calls into question the whole idea of having an independent Office of the Public Protector, which in terms of the Constitution operates according only to the Constitution and the law, and whose decisions should not be able to be willy-nilly overruled by a member of the Executive, because then it undermines that whole constitutional scheme.
Can I come in?
Well, yes, but I want to ask the Public Protector, but carry on, yes.
Okay, I think the issue is the question of are the recommendations of the Public Protector enforceable? Mr. Naidoo seems to feel that they are. I'm not sure on what authority.
Well, I'm not sure he's saying that. Is he saying that? I thought he was saying, sorry, let me get through. I thought he was saying, as a Public Protector, you've got to respond comprehensively. I think he's dissatisfaction of the comprehensive nature.
No, as I understood his issue was that if the public protector says the president must pay back the money, then the president must pay back the money, according to Mr.
And if you're going to challenge that, then you must challenge it in a court of law.
So he is saying that.
Okay. So if the president,
I'm not sure what legal authority he's then making that suggestion.
Right. Can I ask the public protector whether that's what she has in mind, and then we can, Ms. Madonsela, do you see it that as a result of your recommendation, he's obliged to pay back the money, or alternatively say, I'm not paying back the money? I'm trying to sort of work out for my audience what it is that on your report he'd be expected to do.
Right. Two things, Judge Davis. The first one is that the issue about recommendations, I would rather stick to the South African Constitution. I was in Estonia this week, and we discussed that each country must stick to its constitution. And there was a wide range right up to the Eastern Europe constitutional structures where they can go to the Constitutional Court if government refuses to implement. So let's stick with the South African Constitution, investigate, report, and take appropriate remedial action. And then let's come to the Executive Members Ethics Act. It says you have to investigate and report, and then the President has to comment on it. As we deal with that, we have to understand that the President is the head of the Executive. Whatever happens in the Executive is the President's problem, not Parliament's problem. The report that I've submitted to the President is not about the President. It's about what happened at the President's private homestead. A lot of the findings have nothing to do with the President, have to do with how his ministers acted. And the President has not addressed me or anyone on those issues. My expectation, which I think is the expectation of the Act, is that the President should apply his mind to the entire report and disagree when he disagrees. But the story doesn't end there. I still am with Mr. Naidoo that Parliament will evaluate the President's answer. Even if Parliament agreed with him, if Parliament does so wrongfully, the matter could still end up in a court of law, and the court of law would have to decide whether I was irrational in the findings that I made so as to allow the President to ignore them.
But do you accept that a President, with you not the final determinant, and a President can say, I disagree with that, I'm sorry, she's wrong?
Well, I think that the Noma Iudex principle does not allow the President to have a final say in whether he was right or wrong. I think.
But you don't have the final
Parliament
say
would
either.
Have to. Well, I'm saying at my level, I have the final say until a higher authority has overruled me. I would agree with you.
Okay, got you. I want to debate this as well, but I must take another break.